Welcome to Kikao, your weekly focus on Africa's agriculture. This week, we ask the question, is agriculture the silver bullet for Africa? My name is Joe Agale. On this show, we will focus on some of the ways in which agriculture can transform Africa's economies. And in a short while, we'll be speaking to our panel for the week. But first, let's do a scene setter.
Basically, when you look at the broader picture around agricultural transformation in Africa, one of the areas that is critical in agricultural transformation is access to quality agricultural inputs, and not only accessing them, but also being able to afford the quality agricultural inputs. And you're looking at the agricultural inputs in the broader sense. You're looking at quality seed, you're looking at quality fertilizers, you're looking at quality agrochemicals. All agricultural inputs, including even extension and advisory services, they're all inputs. How do you ensure that our smallholder farmers are able to access this? One thing we need to appreciate is that in the agricultural space, we talk about the value chain, and therefore somebody is responsible for the production of the inputs. At the same time, we are operating in an environment that is regulated. So how can the farmer be sure that whatever they're accessing from whoever is manufacturing or producing is of high quality? It means we need to have a regulatory system that allows for checks on quality assurance and standards.
All right, let's now join Dr. Canisius Kanangire, the Executive Director of AATF, for that panel discussion for the week.
Thank you, Joe. There is an age-long belief that agriculture is the hub on which Sub-Saharan Africa's development will evolve. The biggest question remains on whether the present form of agriculture on the continent will be able to stimulate that development. Experts believe that agricultural transformation will lead to increased agricultural productivity and diversification, and this, in turn, will give rise to improved food and nutrition security and job creation through expanded commercialization and industrialization. But the transition from traditional rural societies towards more diversified, urban-centered societies with high productivity is a complex process that depends on the country's resource endowments, institutions, and other factors. On Kikao this week, we will examine the essential role of agricultural transformation in development. We will also look at the successes and failures this far and their far implication in the development process. My name is Dr. Canisius Kanangire. I'm the Executive Director of AATF. And my panel today is made of Dr. Prasanna Budupali, Director of CIMMYT's Global Maize Program, and One CGR Plant Health Initiative Leader, and architect Kabir Ibrahim, President, All Farmers Association of Nigeria. You are welcome, sirs.
Thank you.
Agricultural transformation has been a buzzword in many African countries. But what does it mean, really? What does it entail? How can you make it understandable for our viewers?
Thank you very much, Dr. Canisius. I am happy to be at the Kikao discussion. As you know, I'm from Nigeria, and we had ATA, Agricultural Transformation Agenda, a few years ago. And what came out clearly was that in Africa, we have to change the way we do things, especially from farming perspective. Hoes and cutlasses can never take us anywhere. Yeah. We need to do mechanization. We need to deploy technology. We need to have an educated mass that produces for people, and we need to add value. We need to process. We need to sell what we produce after value addition. If we sell anything in its primary form, we get nothing. Now, we have a very large population of young people in Africa who hitherto had looked upon agriculture as a drudgery that they have to do. to just subsist. Today, I think the world knows that the population of Africa and the arable land in Africa is something to look into in terms of providing food security for the whole world. I remember in 2017 or so, we attended a Global Food Security Conference in Ithaca at Cornell. And everybody was there, you know, antis of GMO and all that were there, and everybody looked upon Africa as where to go to get food security for the whole world. The thing that Africa should do to take advantage of that is to enhance what it does, deploy technology, farm the year round, use irrigation, because if you just farm like we do in Nigeria, the rain-fed agriculture is not enough. We need to do it the year round. And there has to be technology for drip systems of irrigation. We need to put a lot of machinery to do it. We need to add value by processing, but there are many things that are lacking in Africa.
So, yes, please.
Our power sector generally in Africa has to be looked into. We need to develop our own technology. You see, the first world, and I am talking about specifically about Brazil now. You see, Brazil until recently was considered a third world. They tried to innovate. They tried to bring out certain things that were common to them, developed them into a standard where it will enhance productivity and all that. And now we go to Brazil to get things for Africa.
I think we will come back to the details of this, but what I take for now is agriculture need to change a number of methodologies we are using currently, and also use modern tools which can enhance productivity. But also we need to think not only of dealing with raw produces, but add value. So it means a bit of industrialization. He talked about technology. And this is, I think, where Dr. Prasanna, it comes to your field now. How do we bring in knowledge, technology in this transformation of agriculture on the African continent?
So thanks very much, Dr. Canisius, for that question. In my perspective, agricultural transformation is actually not the end result. It's also a process. It's a process by which we improve farm productivity, we make farming more commercially viable, and also strengthen the interlinkages with several sectors that contribute to the economy. Three essential components here. First of all, the technologies or innovations that we bring in have to improve farm productivity, but also at the same time, they need to strengthen the social and environmental footprint at every stage of transformation. Secondly, farmers, especially in Africa, need much stronger access to modern tools, modern technologies, inputs, output markets to access, as well as financial resources that help them shift from the subsistence-oriented farming to more commercially oriented farming. And in all this, governments have a very important role to play. We need a much stronger political will and commitment to promote, to support, to invest in partnerships, including partnerships with a large area of public as well as private sector institutions that contribute to this transformation.
We have here, again, we have science coming in, technology, but also to work on tools, but not only on tools, but also linkages. And it brings me to the idea of the value chain that we need to look into. Who are the other players who come to into this transformation endeavor? Because we cannot do it only at the production level, at the farm level. But all this transformation, how does it contribute to uplifting Africa's economy? Because at the end, this is where we want to go. We want not only subsistence, you talked about it, we need to have the farmers going commercial and make agriculture a business. How does it uplift Africa's economies?
In many ways. You see, when you look at economic prosperity, it's not government having a lot of money in its kitty. It's the people having enhanced purchasing power. being able to do what they want to do at the time they want to do it. And then you get what is called food security. And food security really means eating what you want at the time you want, and that what you eat is also balanced nutritiously. Now, for Africa, what I think we should do is to be able to get a population that is well fed, that is that has good nutrition, and then you have good food security. Then from there you will be able to have a population that thinks even outside the box to get to the moon and all that. This is what happens in the first world. Prosperity means having comfortable zones within what you earn, no matter how small. But if, for instance, I would like to talk about Nigeria, for instance. Nigeria, we say we have oil, we have a lot of money, our economy is strong, but the larger part of the population is in abject poverty. Therefore, there is no national prosperity when you're on balance. The same thing happens, I think, in almost all other African countries. This should go away, because if you take Europe, for instance, the other time I was in France, the south of France, and farmers there are doing a lot of work. They are doing all year round farming. They are doing a lot of things for agriculture. They have a union that the government listens to. And when they say this is what they want, or the government brings out a policy, it is done with them in mind. So everybody is able to cater for themselves, do those things that government provides the enabling environment to thrive. Nobody expects anybody to feed them. We need to work and see what we do and earn what is reasonable from our own effort. And this is exactly what we mean. If you take the United States is quite rich because there is food security. Everybody, you can do a day's job and you will be able to feed your family and do that, and you can get all the good things of life from your effort. In Africa, I believe many of us are not getting our best from what we put in. The farmers are not, in Nigeria today, people are crying about skyrocketing prices of food and all that. But the reality is that it is only now that the farmers are getting good value for what they produce. So, if you look at it from this perspective, prosperity in Africa means working very deliberately towards getting food security, food sufficiency first, then other things will follow. And the only way we will do that is, as the doctor said, we must be able to have strong institutions that work, and we must have policies that are properly implemented, and policies that evolve from development.
There are so many things in your submission. The change, sufficiency in food, attaining food security and nutrition, and then freeing the mind to do other things which will even contribute more to the economic development. I think it is very important. Can you add one or two things to how this transformation can lead to the economic development of the continent?
Right. I think we need to take into consideration some critical facts here. More than 120 million people are presently out of jobs in Sub-Saharan Africa. And this would have been further exacerbated by the recent COVID-19 crisis. More than 400 million people in Africa are still living with less than $1.25 per day. We need to reduce this extreme poverty through agricultural transformation. Agriculture has to play a very critical role in job creation. And job creation is extremely important for the youth to be attracted towards agriculture and make it even more commercially viable. I am impressed by African Development Bank's vision on 4 different elements. They talk about targeted investments in specific value chains and agroecological zones to make this happen. We need self-sufficiency in certain important crops, for example, rice or wheat or fish or horticulture crops. We need to make, secondly, for those crops where there are strong value chain opportunities, we need to move towards that. The example, cocoa or coffee.
Yes.
Third, we need to make the Sahel region food secure.
Yes.
Sorghum, millets, livestock. And the Guinea region much more in terms of productivity and realize the full potential. Maize, for instance, soybean, livestock. So this targeted approach towards agricultural transformation with investments by appropriate agencies is very critical, and if we do
critical. I think we'll come back to the details, but I like the way you specify those different agroecological zones with their potential.
Yeah.
Actually, we can produce food from all the parts and pieces of this continent.
So, Dr. Canisius, if we do that, it can create as an estimated $110 to $115 billion annually within the next few years. That's the power of uplifting economy.
That is absolutely uplifting. Let's take a break, and when we come, we'll see where we are in that agricultural transformation.
Yep.